The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as emergency alerts flashed across every screen. The massive holographic display at the center of the room showed a fleet of warships moving through Sector 7, directly toward a small solar system that made every council member's heart sink with dread. "They wouldn't dare," whispered Council Speaker Reed, his usually steady voice trembling. "That's the preservation zone. That's Earth." Marcus, the Council's chief observer for Earth, stepped forward. His silver robes reflected the red warning lights that continued to pulse throughout the chamber. For over 3 centuries, he had watched humanity from afar, documenting their progress, their conflicts, and most importantly, their incredible ability to adapt and overcome. "Speaker Reed, honored council members," Marcus began, his voice grave. "The Dominion fleet's trajectory is confirmed. They plan to use Earth's solar system as a staging ground for their next offensive. My latest reports indicate they've already sent advance scouts past the outer gas giants." The chamber erupted in panic. Council members from 100 different species began talking all at once. Some demanded immediate military intervention, others called for diplomatic action, and a few simply slumped in their seats, already imagining the catastrophe that would unfold. Speaker Reed raised his hand, calling for order. "Marcus, you've studied the humans longer than anyone. Tell us, what happens if the Dominion makes contact?" Marcus walked to the central display and pulled up his most recent report. Images of human cities, armies, and space stations filled the screen. "Humans have a unique characteristic among all known species," he explained. "They don't just adapt to survive, they adapt to win." He showed footage of human warfare throughout history, from ancient battles to modern conflicts. In just the past 3 centuries, they went from fighting with chemical-propelled metal projectiles to developing fusion drives and quantum computers. While we considered them primitive and kept them isolated, they were advancing at an unprecedented rate. "But surely they can't stand against the Dominion's technology," argued one council member. "They haven't even colonized their own solar system yet." Marcus shook his head slowly. "That's exactly the kind of thinking that makes humans so dangerous. We see their technology as primitive. They see everything as a tool that can be improved." He pulled up another image, showing human scientists examining a crashed weather drone that had accidentally entered Earth's atmosphere decades ago. Within weeks, they had reverse-engineered several of its components. "The Dominion believes they'll find an easy conquest and a strategic location," Marcus continued. "Instead, they'll wake a sleeping giant. Humans don't fight like we do. They don't follow the traditional rules of warfare. They adapt, improvise, and overcome. If the Dominion forces them into this war—" He paused, letting the gravity of his words sink in. "We must stop this," Speaker Reed declared. "Send an emergency diplomatic mission to the Dominion fleet. Tell them Earth is strictly off-limits under the Preservation Act." "It's too late," Marcus said, pointing to the display. "The Dominion fleet has already passed the outer marker. They'll reach Earth within days." The council chamber grew quiet again, but this time with a different kind of silence, the heavy silence of impending disaster. "Then we must warn them," Reed decided. "Prepare a first contact team. If we can't stop the Dominion, we at least owe the humans a warning and a chance to prepare." As the council members rushed to take action, Marcus stayed behind, staring at the image of Earth rotating peacefully in space. He had watched humans for centuries, seen their wars, their struggles, and their triumphs. He knew what the Dominion was about to unleash, not just on Earth, but on the entire galaxy. "May the ancient stars help us all," he whispered. "The galaxy will never be the same after this." Human alarm sirens had already begun to wail across Earth as unknown objects appeared on deep space scanners, hurtling toward the solar system at impossible speeds. Humanity's first contact with galactic civilization was about to begin, not with peace, but with the prospect of war. And Earth, as always, would be ready to adapt. The massive screens at Earth Defense Command headquarters lit up with dozens of unknown contacts appearing just beyond Mars. General Wilson stood at the center of the command room, his weathered face illuminated by the emergency lights. 20 years of military service hadn't prepared him for this moment. "Status report," he ordered, keeping his voice steady despite the chaos unfolding around him. "Sir, we're tracking two distinct groups of vessels," reported Captain Roberts from her station. "The first group is holding position near Mars. The second group is advancing directly toward Earth. Their speed, it's unlike anything we've ever seen." The room fell silent as a transmission cut through their communications. The image that appeared on the main screen showed a tall, dignified figure in silver robes. "People of Earth," the figure spoke in perfect English. "I am Marcus of the Galactic Council. We come with urgent warnings. Your world is in danger." Before General Wilson could respond, new alerts blared through the command center. The second group of ships had accelerated, weapons blazing to life on their hulls. "Multiple energy signatures detected," Captain Roberts shouted. "They're targeting the International Space Station." Wilson's face hardened. "Launch all defense satellites. Get our people off that station now." But it was too late. The Dominion ships opened fire, their energy weapons slicing through space. The International Space Station, humanity's pride in space exploration, erupted in a brilliant flash of light. Thankfully, most of the crew had already begun emergency evacuation procedures when the unknown ships first appeared. Marcus's voice came through again, urgent now. "Those are Dominion warships. You must not let them establish a foothold in your system. We're sending you basic shield frequencies and weapons data. Your survival depends on it." Wilson didn't hesitate. "Send that data to all our facilities. Roberts, get me a secure line to every major military command on Earth. As of now, we're at war." The next few hours were a blur of activity. While the Galactic Council ships engaged the Dominion fleet near Mars, Earth's military forces began the fastest adaptation in human history. Engineers and scientists worked frantically to understand the alien data, while military strategists studied the ongoing battle above their heads. "Sir," Roberts called out, "you need to see this. The Dominion ships, they're using predictable attack patterns. It's like they're following some kind of standard battle plan." Wilson watched the tactical display, years of military experience kicking in. "They're fighting a textbook battle." "But whose textbook?" "Captain, order all remaining satellites to record everything. Every shot, every maneuver. If they're following patterns, we can learn them." The first human counterattack came 3 hours after the initial assault. A squadron of hastily modified fighter jets, equipped with experimental engines reverse-engineered from the Council's data, launched from bases around the world. They weren't much compared to the alien ships, but they had one advantage: unpredictability. "Fighter Squadron Alpha, you are cleared to engage," Wilson commanded. "Show them how Earth fights back." The human pilots flew in seemingly chaotic patterns, breaking every rule of conventional space combat. While the Dominion ships tried to form traditional battle lines, the Earth fighters weaved between them, using the debris from the space station and their own destroyed satellites as cover. "Sir," Roberts exclaimed, "Squadron Alpha just took down one of their smaller ships. The Dominion ship's armor was weakest at the junction points, just like old tank design." Wilson allowed himself a grim smile. "Send that data to all commands. Look for other patterns, other weaknesses. If they want to fight by the book, we'll just have to write our own." In orbit, a Dominion commander watched in confusion as his perfectly executed tactical maneuvers failed against the primitive human ships. These creatures weren't following any known combat doctrine. They were adapting, changing tactics mid-battle, using debris as weapons, and somehow learning shield frequencies far faster than they should. By the end of the first day, humanity had lost over 60% of their space assets, but they had destroyed 3 Dominion ships, and more importantly, they had learned. Engineers were already taking apart the wreckage. Scientists were analyzing alien technology. Military leaders were studying battle footage. The Dominion had expected an easy conquest. Instead, they had given humanity exactly what it needed to fight back, a reason to adapt, and the tools to do it with. Earth's first day among the stars had been baptized in fire. But as General Wilson told his command staff, "Today they taught us how they fight. Tomorrow, we'll teach them how humans fight back." Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a hastily converted military bunker, Earth's leaders gathered to meet with the Galactic Council representatives. The room hummed with tension as Marcus and two other council members faced the assembled human leaders. General Wilson stood at a large display screen, showing footage from the past week's battles. "In 7 days, we've lost nearly 80% of our orbital infrastructure," he reported. "But we've also destroyed 11 Dominion vessels and captured 2 more. Marcus leaned forward, his expression a mixture of concern and fascination. "You captured their ships. That should be impossible. Dominion crews are under orders to self-destruct rather than be captured." "They tried," said Dr. Miller, head of Earth's new alien technology division. She was a short woman with tired eyes and a lab coat covered in burn marks. "We just figured out their self-destruct frequencies faster than they could activate them. Simple pattern recognition. Really." She pressed a button, and the screen showed human engineers swarming over a captured Dominion ship. "Their technology is advanced, but their thinking is limited. Everything they build follows the same basic principles. Once you understand one system, you can guess how the others work." The council members watched in silence as the footage showed humans not just studying the alien technology, but actively modifying it. They had already stripped down one engine and rebuilt it using Earth materials. "This is why we came to warn you," Marcus said gravely. "The Dominion has been fighting the Council for 300 years. They've conquered 17 star systems, but they've never encountered a species quite like humans." "Tell us about this war," demanded President Adams, who had been quietly observing until now. "Why Earth? Why now?" Marcus activated a holographic display showing a map of the galaxy. "The Dominion believes in technological superiority above all else. They classify and conquer worlds based on their technological advancement. Earth was considered a level 2 civilization. Primitive enough to be an easy conquest, but advanced enough to be useful." "Primitive," Dr. Miller snorted. She pointed to a screen showing the latest test results. "We've already improved the efficiency of their shield generators by 20%. They've been using the same design for, 100 years. Never thought to try something new." The council members exchanged worried looks. One of them, a tall figure named Keeper, spoke up. "This is exactly what concerns us. Most species take decades to understand new technology. You've done it in days." "We had motivation," General Wilson said dryly. "Nothing makes humans learn faster than someone trying to kill us." To demonstrate his point, he played footage from that morning's battle. Earth fighters, now equipped with hybrid human-alien technology, swarmed around a much larger Dominion vessel. While the alien ship tried to maintain formation and follow standard combat procedures, the humans attacked from impossible angles, used electromagnetic pulses in new ways, and even turned their own ship's destruction into weapons. "Fascinating," Marcus murmured. "You're not just using the technology, you're changing it, improving it. No other species has ever." He was interrupted by alarms. On the main screen, new Dominion ships appeared, dropping out of faster-than-light travel near Jupiter. "Reinforcements," Keeper said grimly. "The Dominion never accepts defeat. They'll keep coming." President Adams stood up, her face set with determination. "Then we'll keep adapting." "Dr. Miller, how close are we to understanding their FTL technology?" "We've got the basic principles worked out," Miller replied. "Give us another week. We'll have our own version ready. Maybe better." The council members looked horrified. "That technology took us centuries to develop," Keeper protested. "Then maybe you spent too much time following the old ways," Wilson said, studying the tactical display. Humans? We look for new ways, better ways. Always have, always will. President Adams turned to Marcus. You came to warn us about the Dominion. Instead, you might need to warn them about us. Earth didn't want this war, but we're going to end it. Our way. As if to emphasize her words, another alert sounded. On the screen, the first human-modified FTL drive prototype roared to life, weeks ahead of schedule. Dr. Miller grinned at the stunned council members. That's humanity for you, she said. We don't just learn. We improve, and we're just getting started. The council members watched in a mixture of awe and fear as humans continued to reshape alien technology to their will. They had come to save Earth from the war, but perhaps they should have been more worried about what the war would unleash on the galaxy. Humanity unbound. Red dust swirled around the Dominion's new base on Mars, their crystalline structures gleaming under the pale sunlight. From Earth, General Wilson watched through advanced telescopes as enemy ships moved supplies and weapons to their stronghold. They've taken Mars, he reported to the emergency council meeting. And they're building something big on the dark side of the moon. Dr. Miller interrupted by bursting into the command center, holding what looked like a modified tablet. But we've got something bigger, she announced, her eyes bright with excitement. Remember those cargo ships we evacuated from orbit? We've turned them into weapons. The screen behind her lit up, showing ordinary space freighters now bristling with hybrid weapons. Earth's engineers had taken the captured Dominion technology and done something the aliens never expected. They made it work with human technology. These aren't warships, she explained. They're better. The Dominion sensors are programmed to recognize military vessels. These look like civilian ships right until they get close enough to strike. President Adams studied the designs. How many? 57 ready to launch, Wilson replied. We're calling it Operation Trojan Horse. In orbit around Mars, Dominion Commander Brightblade was reviewing defense protocols when the first alarm sounded. His sensors showed a group of Earth cargo vessels, apparently fleeing from the moon base. Standard procedure was to ignore civilian ships. That was his first mistake. As the cargo ships approached Mars orbit, their outer hulls suddenly split open. Hidden weapon systems, combining Earth's nuclear technology with Dominion energy focusing crystals, powered up. Before the Dominion base could raise its shields, the hybrid weapons fired. The attack took less than 3 minutes. When it was over, the Dominion's main Mars base was in ruins. Impossible. Brightblade raged as damage reports flooded in. These primitives, they've combined technologies that should not work together. On Earth, Wilson watched the battle feeds with grim satisfaction. Send in Phase 2, he ordered. This time, small fighters launched from the cargo ships. They were Earth's newest creation, space combat vehicles that used Dominion anti-gravity technology, but were powered by human fusion reactors. They moved in ways that defied conventional space combat doctrine. Sir, a young lieutenant called out, the Dominion ships, they're trying to form a defensive line like they did in the first battle. Wilson nodded. They never learn. Their tactical computers can't adapt to our irregular attack patterns. Hit them from all sides. Show them how Earth fights. The battle for Mars became a lesson in human warfare. While Dominion ships tried to maintain formal battle formations, Earth vessels attacked from every direction. They used the planet's dust storms as cover. They turned debris into weapons. Some pilots even used Mars gravity to slingshot their ships at impossible speeds. In the council observation chamber, Marcus watched the battle with growing amazement. They'd done in weeks what we couldn't do in centuries, he told his fellow council members. The Dominion's greatest weakness was always their rigid thinking, but no one ever exploited it like this. We should have left Earth alone, Keeper said quietly. They're not just fighting the Dominion. They're revolutionizing warfare itself. Back on Earth, Dr. Miller was already studying data from the battle. Each engagement taught them more about Dominion technology, and humans adapted faster than the aliens could respond. "Look at this," she pointed to a screen. "Their ships send out repair nanites in a specific pattern. If we adjust our weapons to match that pattern, we can turn their own repair systems against them," Wilson finished. "Do it." By the end of the day, the Dominion had lost their Mars base and 3 more capital ships. But more importantly, they had lost their aura of invincibility. Across the galaxy, other species watched in amazement as a primitive world fought back against one of the most powerful forces in known space. The Dominion High Command sent an urgent message to all their forces. Exercise extreme caution when engaging Earth vessels. Their combat doctrines do not follow any known patterns. Standard tactics are ineffective. Earth's response was simpler. As Wilson told his troops, "They haven't seen anything yet. Humanity is just getting warmed up." The battle for the solar system had truly begun, and humanity was rewriting the rules of space warfare with every engagement. The massive viewing screen in Earth Defense Command showed the battle near Europa in stunning detail. What had started as a routine Dominion attack had turned into something that would change the course of the war. "Are you seeing this?" Dr. Miller asked, her voice filled with excitement. She pointed to the screen where Earth's newest weapons were in action. "The hybrid strike carriers are performing even better than we hoped." General Wilson watched as the massive ships, built using a combination of Earth and alien technology, moved through space. They weren't elegant like Dominion vessels or advanced like Council ships. Instead, they were practical, powerful, and uniquely human. "Show me the numbers," he ordered. The data appeared on nearby screens. Earth's engineers had taken what they considered outdated alien technology and combined it with simple human innovations. The results were devastating. "Look at this," Dr. Miller explained, pointing to one of the new ships. "We took their energy weapons, which they haven't improved in a century, and combined them with old human railway gun principles. The result? Triple the power, half the energy cost." On the main screen, one of these hybrid weapons fired. The shot combined kinetic and energy damage in a way the Dominion's shields weren't designed to handle. A Dominion cruiser cracked open like an egg. "They don't understand," Miller continued. "They think older technology is worthless. But we've learned that sometimes the old ways work best, especially when you combine them with the new." In the Council observation chamber, Marcus and other alien representatives watched the battle with growing concern. "This is unprecedented," one Council member said. "They're not just using our technology, they're changing it, improving it, making it into something new." "Worse than that," Marcus replied. "They're sharing their ideas with everyone. Other species are starting to copy Earth's methods." The battle near Europa proved to be the turning point. The Dominion fleet, still using their traditional tactics and unchanged technology, found themselves facing an enemy that evolved with every encounter. Earth ships now carried weapons that shouldn't have worked according to galactic engineering principles. But they didn't just work, they excelled. "Status report," Wilson called out as the battle reached its peak. "Sir, the Dominion fleet is in disarray," Captain Roberts responded. "Their commanders can't agree on a response. Our irregular tactics have completely disrupted their battle plans." On the screen, Earth ships demonstrated their new capabilities. Some fired conventional missiles that suddenly split open to release energy weapons. Others used modified mining lasers that cut through Dominion armor like paper. One small fighter even managed to disable a Dominion cruiser by exploiting a weakness in their shield harmonics the humans had discovered by accident. "They're retreating," Roberts announced. The command center erupted in cheers as the Dominion ships began to pull back. Dr. Miller was already analyzing the battle data. "Each engagement teaches us more," she said. "Their technology isn't bad. It's just stagnant. They stopped innovating centuries ago. And that's their biggest mistake," Wilson added. "They forgot that sometimes the best solutions are the simple ones." In their flagship, the Dominion commanders watched in horror as their forces retreated from Earth ships for the first time. "How?" one demanded. How are they defeating our superior technology? The answer came from an unexpected source. A junior engineer who had been studying Earth's weapons spoke up. "Sir, they're not using superior technology. They're just using it better. They take our most basic systems and find new ways to use them. Ways we never imagined." Back on Earth, President Adams met with the Council representatives. "This victory proves what we've been saying," she declared. "Humanity doesn't need the most advanced technology to win. We just need the freedom to innovate." Marcus nodded slowly. "You've changed everything," he said. "Other species are already asking for human advisors. They want to learn your ways of adaptation and innovation." "Good," Adams replied. "Because we're not done yet. The Dominion started this war thinking we were primitive. They're about to learn that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our creativity." As if to emphasize her words, another report came in. Dr. Miller's team had just tested a new weapon that combined Stone Age ballistic principles with advanced alien power sources. The results were beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. The game had changed, and humanity was writing the new rules. 3 months after the Battle of Europa, Earth's first long-range military fleet gathered near Saturn. The ships looked nothing like traditional alien vessels. They were a mix of shapes and sizes, each one representing humanity's unique approach to space warfare. General Wilson stood on the bridge of the flagship, Terra Nova, watching as his crews made final preparations. "Never thought I'd see the day when we'd be pushing beyond our solar system," he said to Dr. Miller, who was checking data on a modified alien console. "The Dominion didn't just give us the tools for space travel," Miller replied with a smile. "They gave us the motivation to perfect it." The fleet was humanity's masterpiece. Each ship carried weapons and defenses that combined multiple technologies in ways that shocked both allies and enemies. But Earth's greatest weapon wasn't their technology. It was their people's ability to think differently. "Message from Council Observer Marcus," Captain Roberts announced. "More species are requesting human military advisors. 3 more worlds have adopted our hybrid technology approach." Wilson nodded. Earth's influence was spreading faster than their ships could travel. Other species, long dominated by the Dominion's technological superiority, were learning that newer didn't always mean better. "Launch the first wave," Wilson ordered. "Operation Leapfrog is now active." The human fleet moved out, but not in the tight formations favored by alien armies. Instead, they scattered in seemingly random patterns, using a battle plan that would have given any traditional military commander a headache. At a Dominion stronghold 2 light-years from Earth, the base commander received urgent warnings. Human vessels approaching. Multiple signatures, but these readings can't be right. Their energy patterns make no sense. They made perfect sense to the humans. Each ship was running modified engines that combined Dominion power with Earth ingenuity. The result was faster, more efficient ships that could change speed and direction in ways alien tactical computers couldn't predict. The battle was short but decisive. Human ships struck from multiple directions, using weapons that shouldn't have worked according to galactic engineering principles. Modified Earth missiles carried energy weapons inside them. Old-style projectile weapons were enhanced with alien technology. Even the communication systems had been turned into weapons. "Commander," a Dominion officer reported, his voice shaking. "They've taken 3 of our outposts in the time it would normally take to capture one. Their tactics, they're not following any known combat doctrine." Back on the Terra Nova, Wilson watched as the Dominion forces crumbled. "Send in the second wave," he ordered. "Let's show them what else we've learned." The second wave of ships demonstrated humanity's latest innovations. Some vessels could temporarily cloak using modified sensor technology. Others carried weapons reverse-engineered from mining equipment. One destroyer even used an adapted food processing system as part of its shield generator. "Message intercepted," Roberts called out. "The Dominion Command is requesting an emergency meeting with their High Council. They're asking about peace terms." Dr. Miller looked up from her console. They're scared, not just of our weapons, but of how fast we're spreading our ideas. 6 more species have requested our technology sharing program this week alone. The news spread quickly through the galaxy. Humanity, the supposedly primitive species that the Dominion had tried to conquer, was now pushing them back. More importantly, they were showing other worlds how to do the same. In the council chambers, Marcus watched the reports with mixed feelings. We tried to protect Earth from the war, he told his fellow council members. Instead, they changed the way the entire galaxy thinks about warfare and technology. The Dominion's biggest mistake, another council member added, was thinking that technological superiority meant victory. Humans proved that innovation and adaptation are more powerful than any single technology. As the human fleet secured their latest victory, Wilson received a private message from President Adams. The Dominion has sent secret peace feelers through the Council. They're worried about what will happen if more worlds adopt Earth's methods. Wilson smiled as he watched his ships return from battle, each one a testament to human creativity and determination. Tell them they should be worried, he replied, because we're not just winning the war. We're changing how the galaxy fights wars. The tables had turned completely. The species that everyone had considered primitive was now teaching the galaxy a lesson about the true meaning of advancement. And this was just the beginning. 1 year after the first Dominion ship entered Earth's solar system, the galaxy had changed forever. In the Grand Council chamber, representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered to witness something unprecedented, Earth's formal recognition as a galactic power. General Wilson, Dr. Miller, and President Adams stood before the council, their simple Earth uniforms standing out among the elaborate alien robes. Behind them, through the chamber's massive windows, Earth ships patrolled alongside council vessels. Their hybrid designs had become the new standard for space warfare. Let the record show, Marcus announced, his voice carrying through the chamber, that Earth is hereby recognized as a sovereign power with full rights under galactic law. The Dominion fleet has officially withdrawn from Earth space and signed the peace treaty. President Adams stepped forward to address the chamber. Earth didn't ask to join the galactic community, she said. We were dragged into it. But now that we're here, we intend to make the galaxy a better place. The proof of her words was already visible. Dozens of alien officers were wearing Earth-style military insignias, marking them as graduates of the new Earth Defense Academy. Humanity's approach to warfare and technology had spread faster than anyone expected. Report from the outer colonies, Captain Roberts whispered to Wilson. 3 more worlds have adopted our hybrid technology program. The Dominion's influence is dropping by the day. Dr. Miller smiled as she checked her datapad. The screen showed the latest statistics. Over 50 alien species now used Earth-designed hybrid weapons. Hundreds of alien engineers were studying at Earth's technology institutes, learning not just how to use technology, but how to improve it. The galaxy was stagnant, she explained to a group of alien scientists. Everyone thought newer meant better. They forgot that sometimes the old ways, combined with new ideas, create the best solutions. In another part of the chamber, Wilson met with military leaders from various worlds. The key isn't having the most advanced technology, he told them. It's understanding how to use what you have in new ways. That's what Earth can teach you. Marcus watched all this with a mixture of pride and concern. He approached President Adams quietly. You know, he said, when I first warned the Council about Earth, I was worried about what the war would do to your world. And now, Adams asked, now I wonder what your world will do to the galaxy. He gestured to the chamber full of aliens adopting Earth methods and ideas. You haven't just won the war. You've started a revolution. The evidence was everywhere. Ships of all species now carried hybrid Earth technology. Military academies across the galaxy were studying human battle tactics. Even civilian technology was changing as humans shared their ideas about combining old and new systems. Message from Earth, Roberts announced. The first alien students have graduated from the International Space Academy. They're requesting permission to establish similar schools on their homeworlds. President Adams nodded. Approve all requests. The more we share our knowledge, the stronger the galaxy becomes. In a corner of the chamber, two Dominion officials watched the proceedings with bitter recognition. We thought we were superior, one said quietly. We never imagined that a primitive world could teach us so much about true advancement. The ceremony concluded with the official establishment of Earth's Interstellar Defense Force. The fleet, made up of ships from Earth and allied worlds, would help maintain peace using humanity's innovative approaches to technology and warfare. As the gathered species prepared to return to their worlds, Marcus made one final announcement. Let this day be remembered not just as Earth's recognition as a galactic power, but as the beginning of a new era. An era where advancement comes not from having the newest technology, but from having the wisdom to use all technology well. Wilson, standing with his fellow commanders, watched Earth's ships through the window. They were no longer just defenders of their world, but teachers and protectors for the galaxy. You know what the Dominion's biggest mistake was? He asked Dr. Miller. She nodded. They thought they were waking up a primitive world. Instead, Wilson finished, they woke up the galaxy's best hope for real progress. As the Earth delegation prepared to return home, the truth was clear to everyone in the chamber. The galaxy hadn't protected Earth from war. Earth had shown the galaxy a better way to live and grow. The age of stagnant advancement was over. The human age of innovation had begun.